Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, your lord and master of propaganda, here to deliver unto you more lovely fights, and of course, perhaps a bit of instruction for you as well, so goody, isn't it? Yes, indeed. So, of course, the question becomes, who shall be fighting today? Well, we'll be looking at that rather swiftly. Of course, one thing to know, of course, is the Semois sort of nature, and yes, this is indeed Semois. This is not some sort of counterfeit Semois or a Semois lookalike. This is Semois, yes, indeed. Nice little urban right here in the center, of course, more open in the sides, and of course, those two highly vital fuel points. And of course, who shall be fighting? Well, here in the second corner, we are seeing a Schwimmwagen reporting that no foes can allowed. They cannot swim. And we are seeing here combining into a kampfgruppe, the kampfgruppe B. Yes, indeed, Beavis isn't really a typical German name, I'm afraid, so of course we'll just have to go with kampfgruppe B. Assembled from bits and pieces of the 12th SS and a nearby Grenadier Division. Opposing them shall be Rommelslayer, yes indeed, Rommelslayer of the 7th Armored Division, ready to show them for King George and tea and crumpets and all that. Let us in fact get right down to it, what shall be going on. Another Schwimmwagen on the way, thus already opting to go for a lot of ability to seize territory rather swiftly. Not a bad day against the British, I imagine. We are seeing reconnaissance section going straight for the munitions point, not the fuel point. This is rather interesting. Of course, this means that Rommelslayer will be going for the munitions, which is a bit unusual in this, Semois. Most people tend to go for the fuel point, which is, casually right next to the fuel base, But apparently Rommelslayer is a bit of a rogue, a knave, a blackguard, who doesn't play by the rules, no indeed. He doesn't put sugar in his tea, no, he puts syrup or Marmite, who knows. Nonetheless, taking the munitions point right there, and of course that means he probably will be taking that with his command truck, and yes indeed, it is on a southwards position, route. Schwimmwagen is going either way. Of course they're doing things properly by the Panzer Elite rulebook, except there's not much run up there, again considering it's sort of a kampfgruppe ideology, but nonetheless, Panzer Grenadiers arriving, marching outwards for the fatherland. Recon section moving away, the truck having a bit of a problem right there, with walls, things standing in its way. It's a truck, not an off-road thing, I'd imagine. And already getting incendiary grenades. We're already seeing some sort of assertive plan right here. 2 Schwimmwagens, 2 Panzer grenades, and then incendiary grenades. Yes, indeed. Kettenkraut, or Schwimmwagens, in fact, yes, indeed. This is, of course, Schwimmwagens, not Kettenkrauts. It's actually been some time we've not seen Schwimmwagens, in fact, for that long period of time. Gewehr 43 is ready again. Though, of course, they won't quite have the munitions to actually use those incendiary grenades. And again, with all the munitions they might be seizing with those Schwimmwagens, of course, that might swiftly change. British are moving forwards. Lieutenant ready. Truck sitting out with the next unit. And there we go. The kampfgruppe getting incendiary grenades. And the Schwimmwagen comes under fire from the reconnaissance section, the recce section, as it advances. Forcing away the Schwimmwagen with brimstone and fire. Panzer is getting ready to counterattack, except of course the Schwimmwagen is sort of making that a bit of a problem, Beep beep. Anyhow, Panzer is are getting ready to counterattack and force away the British Hunden, the British Schweinhunden, and show them who's the true soldier right here. But there we go, the recon section catching the Panzer grenades out in the open, and we are seeing tank destroyer Doctrine already. I mean, less than 3 minutes in the game and already a Doctrine, and we have tank destroyer, and of course that could mean he probably has a plan to use it with the Schwimmwagens, of course, and an incendiary grenade forcing away the recon section out from the house. The house is currently on fire, but not the roof. And now the reconnaissance section is running into the house, which is on fire. I mean, a good rule of thumb, consider sometimes, if you repeat the action in real life, for example, would I run into a burning house? If the answer is no, well, you have the answer there if you want to send your troops into it as well. Schwimmwagen secure, and of course we might be seeing them laying down mines, as that is what the Schwimmwagen can with the tank destroyer Doctrine. Infantry section getting burned out a bit, getting shot out a bit. Brenker charging forwards for King George, opening up on the Panzer grenades, who are now in fact running for their lives. Not towards the hills though. And a third Panzer Grenadier section is, or Panzer Grenadier team ready. Kampfgruppe company going up. Bren carrier on the hunt for some Krauts, some Huns. The Bosch, which was a French term for the Germans, which the British actually used also. The Hun being a reference to some old World War I propaganda, which sort of tried to liken the German army with the hordes of Attila the Hun. In fact, they also sort of tried to sort of keep at it after the war with sort of nice posters that sort of portrayed a lovely German salesman on one side, and then the other side they had to sort of portray him also as a barbarian torching down villages and raping women, stuff like that. So yes, of course, lovely chaps, the British. And of course, there's absolutely no way the Germans might have reacted badly to that, you know. Infantry section heading towards the centers, towards the east, towards everywhere. And the Bren carrier has been upgraded with the Vickers. Yes, indeed, the Vickers machine gun. Staple of the British armies for quite a bit of while. Solid machine gun, Kampfgruppe company is ready. And we are seeing defensive operations as well. More Gewehr 43s. Whatever are those cheeky Panzer Grenadiers up to? Well, the Schwimmwagens are going straight for the fuel. Oh, sneaky, sneaky Schwimmwagens. How sneaky thou art. And the recon section is on the hunt for a Schwimmwagen. And looks like he's going straight for the Panzerjäger command. Other Panzer Grenadiers are heading outwards with Gewehr 43s in hand. Well, some of them are. Panzer Grenadiers of the 12th SS Hitlerjugend. One of the divisions which pretty much fought the Brits only. Oh, the Schwimmwagen going up in flames, I fear. Yes, indeed, out of control. And kaboom.
The enemy has destroyed a vehicle.
But the Schwimmwagen was, the Hitlerjugend, that is, wasn't actually composed, of teens, and some might like to sort of make it out as some, saying, oh, well, they had candies. Well, not quite. The Hitlerjugend division was pretty much given troops of a certain age range, as most divisions, in fact, were. The only difference was they were pretty much only specifically picked up from the Hitlerjugend. So that's just sort of the vital difference, really. Bren carrier getting shot up. Not liking it one bit. Gewehr 43 quick Panzer Grenadiers proving to be a bit too much for even the Bren carrier. We are seeing an infantry section under the supervision of a lieutenant advancing in the south. Others have run back, not quite liking the whole getting shot in the face deal. And the Panzer Grenadiers continue their Bren carrier hunt. And looks like the Panzerjäger command is ready. We might be seeing armored cars, we might be seeing mortars, we might be seeing assault rifles. Though it would be a good thing to spend some of that manpower. And there we go, he is training assault grenadiers from the Panzerjäger command and then getting the mortar upgrade. That's a bit interesting. In particular when he does have the munitions for it, but then again he might decide, he wants to do something else with all that. If I could just find that other Panzer Grenadier team. Yes, indeed, they are getting the assault rifles, and once more the Bren carriers on the hunt for some Panzer Grenadiers. Infantry section moving in from the south. Of course, they might get a Sturmgewehr surprise very soon. Sturmgewehr, also known as the MP44 machine pistol, sort of a cover name until Hitler sort of realized, oh hey, this is actually a pretty great weapon. Let's call it the Sturmgewehr. And infantry section charging towards no suppressor volleys, and Panzer Grenadiers with their assault rifles might actually want to close up, since assault rifles are a bit more effective close up. And another infantry section with rifle grenades advancing on the Panzer Grenadiers. Rifle grenades flying through, doing quite a bit of damage to the Panzer Grenadiers. Assault grenades ready. Mortar free upgrade also ready. And I don't think the 12th SS actually had access to mortars. I do believe they would have had the Jagdpanzer IV, which is why I said it was a Kampfgruppe. Most infantry divisions, in fact, though, or grenadier divisions, did have one company of mortar frees to sort of act as a self-propelled anti-tank company, and then the rest would be more regular anti-tank guns. Bren carrier and this is slightly less great, charging across negative or open ground against the Vickers machine gun. Or Bren carrier, because the Vickers machine gun, in fact, can suppress your infantry with enough time, and there we go. Panzer Grenadiers getting suppressed. Bren carrier making a hazardous run for it. Sappers nearby. Oh dear, they're running in too far, running straight into the line of fire of the assault grenades rather than staying behind light cover. That was quite unfortunate, and I doubt these sappers will be having a much nicer time for soon. And there we go. One sapper down, the rest making a hazardous run for it. Another down. Infantry section advancing for King George, for crumpets, tea and biscuits. Panzer Grenadiers getting reinforced. And the others are now running for it, and we are seeing a casualty clearing station up. Good job there by Rommelslayer. And we are seeing a recon section doing a bit of harassment. Nifty that. And we are seeing the Schwimwagen in fact laying down mines, but one thing to note though, while it can lay down mines, which is certainly a nice ability, it is more expensive than regular mine laying. So there you go, just a quick reminder there. And we are in fact seeing them out of fear. We have also seen the fuel point right here being secured by the field support truck, of course, meaning and that of course we've also seen with the sappers, and of course the socks right there. Very important. Note the socks. Well, not really. If you do note the socks, I might have some worrying news for you. And there we go. Mine hit. One reconnaissance section chap goes up in smoke. But the Brits are not to be deterred, and once more repairing the brain carrier. We might be seeing a Stuarts eventually, and there we go. Captain dashing with his Whibley revolver. Absolutely useless. That is the revolver. Car moving about, though, might come under heavy fire from the British infantry as they advance, and laying down more mines. Will the Brits be aware of this? Will they run into the trap of the mine? No, it's not the mine. And there we go, advancing steadily for King George. And there we go, mine goes off, the Brits go down, although they are all still alive. And a Vegas machine gun emplacement by Rommelslayer to cover this bit. Interesting, interesting, no mortar emplacements.
The enemy is attempting to seize a fuel point from us.
And the Brits are going straight for the fuel points in the north, in the south. Nowhere else. And we are seeing the group veterancy, oh, I can't remember the exact name of the upgrade, my apologies. Group Seal, there we go. Tally-ho. And let's go have a look at Rommelslayer and let's see what that cheeky devil is up to. Apparently nothing, although if he hadn't built that biggest machine gun emplacement, he could already have gotten a Stuart by now, but no, he decides to get a big machine gun emplacement, opening up with all fury on the Panzer Grenadiers as they try to advance. The Marder 3, though, instead has to move forwards for the fatherland. The Marder 3 based on the Panzer 38T, which was also the basis for the Hetzer, which is also in the game. It was also the basis for the Grille, which was a sort of close support heavy artillery tank or armor sort of thing. And also the Flak Panzer Gepard. In fact, it was the source of quite a few variants, in fact. Quite a versatile chassis. And not even German at that. Infantry section out in the open versus a lot of Panzer Grenadiers with automatic weapons. That's not the place you want to be in. Retreat, infantry section, retreat, please. And the Bren carrier comes under fire from Pack 40, mounted on the Marder 3, but looks like it does get away, and now Sappers with Piets try to stop it, and of course immediately try to stop stopping it and run away. Marder fleet sets up in a forward position, ranges, and is ready to open fire on the machine gun emplacement as long as it can actually get some bloody sight. Looks like Schwimwagen will be providing that. Another Schwimwagen standing about doing nothing. Could, do a bit of harassment there, and someone needs to put a stop to that, Captain. And there we go, Armada 3 blasting away at the Vickers, and of course there's this bit you have to notice here. This is a bit of a weak spot in the plan. Armada 3 could, and just crash through it, but apparently, again, reconnaissance doesn't seem to be one of Mr. B's strong suits of his Kampfgruppe B. And looks like some Panzer Grenadiers are advancing through the center of the town square. Infantry section opening up. Schwimwagen also moving in. Brenker is still alive, though, interesting enough. I mean, it's taken quite a beating, but yet it's still standing.
Supply lines are broken.
And we've still yet to see actually a Stuart light tank. Impressive, and the captain continues up here completely unopposed. Cheeky little sod. And now we are seeing a logistic company going up. But going for points there. The British looks like they might be making ready for another heavy Brit assault. No Bren guns equipped though, and looks like this Schwimwagen might be in a bit of trouble. There we go, Schwimwagen coming under heavy fire. Schwimwagen is signing, it has better places to be. Bren carrier on the other hand advances straight into the jaw of the Panzer Grenadier forces coming under a bit of fire. Still no upgrades, still no Stuart. And looks like an armored car has been prepared. Sonderkraftfahrzeug 22 with his 20mm auto cannon opening up on the captain. Looks like the captain will be meeting an ignoble end. Or is this a really lucky captain? No. The armored car overloads its engines, and there we go. Captain goes down in a blaze of German glory. Looks like the Brits are getting ready for another assault. And the Brenker finally gets knocked out. The Marder 3 finally got its prey. Armored car might move in, wanting to move in support. Rifle grenades flying through the air. P at rounds also doing so. And he has gone for the artillery doctrine, using his officer to call in artillery, doing quite a bit of damage to the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadier team is in fact lost. The armored car not doing one bit to help. There we go though. More Panzer Grenadiers moving in, or assault grenadiers with their assault rifles. Brits finding themselves in a bit of trouble, as they are finding themselves actually getting shot up. Incendiary grenades at the church. The Wehrmacht cares nothing about God. Well, at least not the French God. He's not as cool, you know. And we are seeing them going straight for the munitions point right there again, seizing back what they can. Troops getting reinforced, not entirely sure what he wants to get from there. Though might be, you know, increased squad sizes. That's the usual thing most Panzer Elite players go for. And there we go. Stuart light tank, excellent, isn't it? And yes, indeed, it is time for the mid-game analysis as well. Going to be a bit of a short game, but I hope you don't mind. It is featuring the British, which is a rare sight at the moment. Dagwood, yes, indeed, Dagwood. And of course, question is, how will this be handled? Well, that of course is a pretty good question, actually. But currently, the Brits are, you know, a bit forced out. They have taken some losses, but then again, they have caused some losses to the Panzer Grenadiers as well. The Panzer Grenadiers have been able, or at least the Kampfgruppe B has been able to provide a bit of security and with mines and all that, although this again it is a bit more expensive. And the Panzer Grenadiers still have a bit of a nasty tendency of trying to fight out in the open, which doesn't tend quite to suit them, and they haven't really focused, you know, on dealing with the infantry at range as well. It's mostly, you know, stuff that can hit them from up close, but nothing from up far, which of course would also be nice. And the only sort of even slightly armored thing is that Marder 3. Which doesn't tend to be quite as useful. Armored car though is there, which of course could be used as well if it decides to move forward. And of course now this Stuart could be a bit of a problem. Then again, the Marder 3 could also pretty quickly lock it down from the front, you know. Big gun and all. But again, I really think that Rommelslayer might want to consider getting an armored company truck up as soon as possible. And as for, well, Mr. B, he might want to consider, oh, I don't know, getting perhaps a Panzer IV or a Hotchkiss. He needs to get some armor. He needs to, you know, attack from further points and deliver some brutal blows to the British. He needs to actually kill off some teams rather than just knock out one Bren carrier in the process. But let us return to the fight. Stuart advancing. Medics getting under fire, and certainly the medics are doing quite a bit of nice work for the British Army. Stuart advances. Marder 3 also advances, and looks like, oh yes, indeed, the Stuart will be able to outflank the Marder 3. Excellent maneuver, and of course that is the danger of using the Marder 3 like that. It can get outflanked by something smaller and faster. Rear armor hit, and there's no other anti-tank assets in the entire Kampfgruppen. This could end up very badly. And there we go, main gun destroyed. This Marder 3 won't be doing anything. But an engine is destroyed as the Stuart hits a mine. But the Marder still goes down in a blaze of flames. Marder 3 is no more. The Panzerjäger is kaput. Stuart armored car could actually try and move in and perhaps hit it from the rear. It could do some damage, but apparently not. British infantry section advancing, and we are seeing a forward barracks there. That's a bit of manpower there. I'm not entirely sure I want to see that. And I may imagine another Marder 3 might be on the way there. Infantry section under heavy fire from assault rifles. Panzer is holding out near the church, which is now Panzer Elite territory. Rifle grenades flying, actually hitting some of the British troops. That was a bit unfortunate. Armored car might want to move in support. And looks like the Panzer grenadiers will be charging the riflemen. The rifle grenadiers. And no, they're going after the lieutenant, and we are seeing increased squad sizes. No incendiary grenades at the cafe. One Panzer grenade almost down. And there we go, incendiary grenades at the rifle grenadiers, forcing them out and right into the arms of the Panzer grenadiers with all the automatic weapons, doing quite a bit of damage. But the Brits still get out of there with some limbs attached. And looks like another Stuart is ready. The other one actually moving in from the north. or at least providing some overwatch from the remains of what is ever up there. Finding a way in support of the remaining British force in the town. And looks like another Stuart moves in. Might be a canister shot. Canister shot, you know, would be a rather nice thing here with all these. Yes, there we go. And an entire Panzer Grenadier team shredded. Marder 3 knocks out a Stuart, though. That was less fortunate. But then again, I mean, there wasn't pretty much else to do with this Stuart. So, I mean, at least he got some use of it nonetheless. Good thing there, although Rommelslayer has been taking some loss, of course, it does have a casualty station, which is of help.
We've just got the green light to employ
The Panzer Grenadier commander on the other hand isn't doing quite as well, particularly with that Panzer Grenadier team going up in blood and metal shavings as the canister shot went off. And looks like the Stuart might be trying to flank. That would be good. Yes, indeed. Clever maneuver right here, using the building for cover, meaning, of course, the Marder 3 will be having a bit of trouble. Marder 3 makes a quick turn towards the rear, and there we go. Stuart hit. Stuart is hit. But now it will be able to circle around the Marder 3. Or will it? Or will the Marder 3 get the final shot? Oh dear, the shit actually absorbed the shot, and the armored cars moving in. Main gun destroyed. Oh dear, the Marder 3 is doomed. And another Marder 3 is out of commission. Crashes into the old church. And the armored car hopes to deliver death onto the Stuart, hoping to get a few shots through the rear armor. Or any sort of part of the armor. Although if it wants to have any chance of actually damaging, it needs to hit the rear armor. The frontal armor is simply unpenetrable, and of course overloading the engine when the engine is damaged doesn't actually work. Rest of the Panzer Grenadiers are sort of mucking about, weeping in the base. And the armored car goes up in flames. Looks like Mr. Rommelslayer has the advantage now.
Alright, chaps. Armor HQ ready. Fire up. Cromwell here. Ready for action.
The Stuarts simply outmaneuvering the Marder 3s. Quite unfortunate for Mr. B. On the other hand, for Mr. Rommelslayer, quite lovely. That's certainly 2 less Marder 3s he has to worry about. And so far he's only lost 1 Stuart to them, and of course a bit of infantry. I think actually 1 Marder managed. Lots of Panzer Grenadiers now moving out in one huge force. This could be a bad move, with those Stuarts about with their canister shots. And of course a Cromwell, and of course, oh wait, looks like he might, yes, no, yes, there we go, Marder 3 again. A 3rd Marder 3. That's almost a Marder 3 section. 1 more, and that would in fact be it, I believe. Panzer Grenadiers going at the Rifle Grenadiers, and the recon section Cromwell moving about. Trying to protect the church and the barracks in there. Marder 3 operating in the north. But running into Bren gunners. Oh dear, but no, looks like they will be able to button it down. Marder 3 moves in for the Cromwell kill. And there we go, Cromwell under fire, but he charges up his engines. And gets right past and right around the Marder 3. Again, the Marder 3 is a nice support weapon, but it cannot deal with armor on its own. It will simply get outmaneuvered. And that is rather Mr. B's mistake. He had nothing else to really aid the Marder 3 in dealing with armor. And he is paying the price now. Not a Panzer Shrek, not a single thing. Though a 2nd Marder 3 can certainly help. But the first one is damaged, and a Schwimmwagen goes up in smoke. Not looking good at all. Remaining Panzer Grenadiers moving in to put it together, and let's return to B. What is he up to? He could possibly actually call in a Hetzer. That could in fact work. Would also be decent against infantry if he decided on using that. But sadly looks like he has other plans.
Yeah, we're picking up your signal.
Cromwell getting away, rather feeling that without infantry support it might be in a bit of trouble in case more Marders move in.
Marder here. Send your orders. Yeah, Marder at the ready.
bit of quiet. Let's let's not speed it up. I mean, let's just enjoy it for a while. 7th Armored Division getting ready for another push. The Kampfgruppe B rather desperately trying to reorganize and get ready to assist another push. Having taken rather heavy losses. And there we go, the British armored charge moves in. Panzergrenadiers need to retreat, getting shot up out in the open. Pulling back to the strong point around the church. And he's actually going to call in a Jagdpanther. That's quite interesting. So a bunch of a bit mistaken there. No Hetzers. Instead of Jagdpanther, if he gets the needed resources. Panzergrenadiers getting shot up, and the Stuart moves in. Comes under fire, and a cancer shot clears out several Panzer Grenadiers. Quite unfortunate. Stuart might go get knocked out though. And looks like he's not getting the Jagdpanther. Instead, he's getting more Panzer Grenadiers. Others, in fact, getting chewed up. Marder Fleet's doing what they can to support their own troops. But luck does not look like to be on their side. A Jagdpanther could actually dealt with things that's alright against infantry. Panzer Grenadiers charging right into everything, which is less of a great idea. Hoping to perhaps catch the Brits with an incendiary grenade. In fact, 2 lieutenants right there. And looks like the forces of the Kampfgruppe B are in a bit of trouble. Not looking good. Still not getting any resources together for Jagdpanther. Church being rendered neutral once more. So I rather think this is it. This is game over.
Is attacking a petrol depot.
And looks like that is it. In fact, rather realizing he might have lost. Then again, he probably could have turned things around with a Jagdpanther, but decided against it, making a rather hazardous run for it. There you go. Bit of a short game, but it did, you know, feature British against the Panzer Elite. And it thought it had some merit, so there you go. If not, there's always tomorrow and another game. And of course, I hope to get more games, of course. Always feel free to send in your games. But of course, what could we learn from this? Well, I mean, I think they made your case right here. And of course, the thing that helped Rommelslayer was, of course, the martyrs. And there were usually only used one, which of course meant that any single armor unit could usually just flank around them because there was nothing to actually aid the Marder Fleets, and Marder Fleets are support units. I mean, yes, they look nice and big and armored. Yes, they look like they have a nice gun, but again, lack of mobility and lack of any actual heavy armor rather makes them vulnerable to any sort of vehicles which can easily outflank them, and they are pretty slow in turning about. So, I mean, at least have 2 or have some Panzerschrecks or something else to support them, otherwise don't bother. And that was rather, I think, Mr. B's major problem. That and a bit of trouble of getting some things coordinated. Rommelslayer on the other hand did alright with good infantry, casualty stations, stewards and all that. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dating. Cheers.